Hello everyone, I am Jayson Bates and I am the owner of Electrum Financial, located right here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona, where a mortgage is not a flip of the coin. And I am one of the hosts here of the Arizona Lifestyle Channel, or Arizona Real Estate Lifestyle Channel, I should say, or podcast. So thank you for joining us, and you can catch this episode on Roku TV, so check that out. Tell your friends and family that we're all here. And I want to introduce my co-host here, Kelley Norton.
Hey, what's up, Arizona? I'm Kelley Norton, and I'm a real estate agent in the Phoenix metropolitan area. I've been selling real estate here for over 20 years, and I'm a Valley native. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, feel free to reach out. Calling or texting me is the best way, and super excited to be here again with Jayson and talk about some really important topics. And by the way, I love that music. It gets me all pumped and all excited. I just want to scream.
I know, right? I know. It gets us all pumped up for real estate. Well, we love real estate. We're full-time on real estate, so we hope you enjoy the content that we're going to provide to you today. We've got a lot to cover. Today is Fed Day. I'm not going to cover that too much. I think that gets overplayed a little bit, but I think there's some other topics that we do want to cover that are super important. So, again, please share this with your friends and family. If you're watching us on YouTube or whatever platform you're watching us on from, please tell your friends and family and share it with your sphere of influence. We really would appreciate that. Okay, so the first thing I want to cover here today, we want to dive right into it. No time like the present here, but we want to talk about new build a little bit here and some of the, I guess, hurdles that you may encounter with a new build. So I want to kind of do the intro and then we'll get right into the article here. All right, so let's bring up this article here and let's talk about this a little bit. So I'm going to scroll up here a little bit. This is a Phoenix couple who, now, and to be fair, a lot of people who are under contract with new builders right now got under contract maybe even a year ago, maybe even longer, right? It's taken a long time to build some of these homes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 12 to 18 months in some cases. So.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how long it takes. So, but this particular couple wanted their earnest money returned in 12 to 15 months ago. I don't even know, are builders even like asking for this kind of down payment today? Probably not. Oh, they are?
No, they still are. So a lot of builders, they'll have anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 as an earnest money down payment. And then once you choose your options at the design center, sometimes they'll choose to collect a percentage of that, or what they'll do is if you go above a certain amount, then whatever amount you go above, they want half of it cash up front. And usually they do that to protect themselves in the event that you were to cancel later on after they've already built the home to your specs, because that might be your particular taste. And if you over upgrade the home, it might not be as sellable for them, especially if you pick like, blue cabinets. And what if, the majority of people don't want blue cabinets, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
That's the reason behind that. But no, you are seeing anywhere, depending on the price of the home, right? $5,000 to $20,000 for earnest monies.
I remember a day when it was $500.
Yep, exactly. Right.
Times have changed. Holy moly. Okay, so this article kind of popped out to me a little bit because I think a lot of people who are under, working with new builders, hey, what are my options? How can I get out of this? And when am I going to get my earnest money back? That sort of thing. And each builder has their own contract, of course. So be sure to read your contract if you fall into this category.
Yes.
But this court.
Yes, and one thing I want to just touch on really quick, and this is why I always tell people, it is so important to have your own real estate agent go with you, because a lot of people, they'll walk in and the builder will say, you don't need a real estate agent. I've heard that so many times. Guys, that agent represents the builder. They do not represent you. And although there's some amazing agents out there representing the builder, their fiduciary is to that builder. So you want to have your own representation. And guess what? You don't have an inspection period. So in resale, you have a 10-day inspection period in which you can cancel for pretty much any reason. anything that you find that is unacceptable to you. And in new construction, it's not that way. So it's very, very important that you have your own representation and they help go through this contract with you.
Yeah. Well, this particular couple, they were looking to get their earnest money back because of a medical condition from the husband. And the thing that kind of stood out to me, and I'm very sympathetic to any kind of medical condition, but the thing that stuck out to me here was, and I highlighted it here a little bit, and it's 8 days later, we got a call from the Mayo Clinic that Joanne said, my husband was on the list for a transplant, a kidney transplant, and we got the call to show up, and he's in line to get a kidney. So he has a need for a kidney transplant. And this particular community is not close to the Mayo Clinic. It's pretty far away.
Right.
And so that is their...
Definitely over an hour.
Yeah, it's a long ways away. And so they wanted their earnest money back so they could move closer to the Mayo Clinic to continue the treatment after the transplant. You know, there's a lot of follow-up with any kind of transplant for sure. And so it just didn't make it really conducive for them to buy an hour away and then have to, you know, commute an hour 4 or 5 times a week.
Right.
And so the builder, and you may recognize the name, and we won't go there, but the builder basically said, and I didn't have it highlighted here, but basically said, hey, sorry, you signed a contract. We're not going to refund you your money. Mm-hmm. So buyer beware, I guess, is the moral of this story.
Right. One thing to add there is that in a lot of these new build contracts, there's a clause or a line that says the earnest money is at that point is fully released to the seller. So it's not, and seller being the builder, right? So it's not just sitting in an account. They're free to spend it. The money is gone. So that is in a lot of these contracts. So you have to understand that when you put your earnest money down. And first of all, I feel, you know, my heart goes out to that family. Mm-hmm. You know, it's 8 days after the contract, then I guess he found out he was able to get his kidney. So that's amazing. I'm really glad for that.
Right.
But it sounds like maybe this process had been started quite a bit beforehand. So, you know, you don't know all of the ins and outs of this situation. But maybe there could have been a way with the builder knowing that there was this potential risk with this need for possibly moving somewhere else. You know, maybe there could have been some conversations that were had with the builder. Hey, we have this situation coming up that we know could happen at any time. Is there a way that we could have this worked out? Because otherwise, you know what, it's defaulting right back to that contract, and that contract, it's totally tipped to the builder. There is nothing about it that is friendly to the buyer, and that's always a risk with buying a new construction. It is definitely tipped towards the builder's benefit for sure. Yeah,
100%. Okay, so moral of the story, buyer beware, read the contract, and those contracts, they are long, lengthy, and boring. I get it, but have proper representation. Have somebody, have Kelley represent you if you're out there looking at a home. She'd be a great one to have represent you during that home buying process. Call me, reach out.
Yes.
So I'm only a phone call away.
We need to have a little phone noise that or a little phone that pops up.
Yeah, I know. I need like a sound effect here for the show for that.
Yes.
Okay, so next thing I want to get into.
Wait.
Oh, you have one?
Hold on.
Sound effect.
Oh, just wait. We got this, baby. We got this. This is my
the blow-up phone. Oh, my goodness.
All right, off it goes.
All right, off it goes. That's quite the phone. That's those. What do they call those, bricks, or I don't know. Back in the day.
Oh yeah, the old car phone.
Yeah, the phone brick. Okay, so I want to go into the next thing because this is super important. I had this come up yesterday from another colleague of mine, and this is getting pushed out there quite a bit. So we want to bring this to everybody's attention and kind of give our perspective on this. So let's kind of transition into that. Okay, so the first one, and let me kind of, I guess, put myself in here a little bit, but the first one is you may have heard about a wrap mortgage, and you may be wondering, what is a wrap mortgage? In a rate rising environment that we're in right now, the Fed's speaking today and expected to raise rates, although that doesn't affect mortgage rates, but that's another topic. But we're in a high rate environment, obviously. So a lot of sellers are trying to get creative in trying to offer their homes to prospective buyers. And one of those gimmicks, if you will, is a wrap mortgage. And I don't want to say it's a gimmick per se, but it is one of those things that you may encounter while you're out there shopping for a home. And so I want to give my perspective, and let me pull up here and just give you the definition of a wrap mortgage. So a wrap mortgage is it's a loan on top of a loan, essentially, but it's a loan that encompasses the existing mortgage that you have. And so why this is so important, because a lot of people have a loan that is, sorry, I'm going to merge myself back in here. But a lot of people have a loan that might be in the 2s or 3s on their current mortgage. And rates, right now, according to Freddie Mac, is at 6%, although I can get you a lower rate than that. But 6% is the going Freddie Mac rate right now. And so if you're in the 2s or 3s, let's say, and you offer your home at a 4.5% rate, then you as a seller can maybe offer a higher price for the home. And then you as a seller, you act as the bank. So you agree upon terms from the buyer, who then gives you a big down payment. You set the terms at 4.5, let's say, as an interest rate. Meanwhile, your current mortgage is at 3.5, so you have a profit buffer in there, if you will. And then you sign over the deed to the prospective buyer, while the buyer makes payments to you, and then you make payments to your mortgage company. So that mortgage is not coming off your loan or off your credit. Because it's not getting paid off per se. Now, this is something that Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae back in the late 80s kind of did away with. So you're going to have to check with your lender to be sure that they even allow for that. Now, my fear is, because it's being pushed out there, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just help people understand, that's because the collateral that it's tied to is now in the, that deed is in the name of someone else. So they still owe the mortgage to that bank, but they now no longer have that collateral. So
right, and that's
am I saying that right?
Yeah, no, you're saying it exactly right. So they made the loan to you as a seller as a primary residency. Now you're selling that to somebody else and moving out of the property. Now that becomes an investment property, different risk factors involved on that. And meanwhile, you've got a mortgage that's on top of that mortgage, which really takes a second lien position. And so now you have a second mortgage on that home as well. So it's really kind of a dangerous proposition, I guess is the proper word for it, from the seller and even the buyer's perspective. Now the buyer, hey, they're buying the house. Hey, the house gets foreclosed on. The house is in their name. They don't own anything on that first mortgage. Theoretically, they could walk into maybe a lot of equity because, or maybe lose it, depending on how the foreclosure goes and whether or not it's legal or not. My fear is that, and I was telling Kelley this before the show, is that a lot of sellers are not even going to consult with their current mortgage company, and they're just going to do it. And that's fraudulent. So
exactly. People need to really be aware. Whenever there is a situation where the consumer could feel desperate, like seeing the rates go up and feeling like their money can't go as far, we sometimes see a lot of things that are being offered to them that they really don't know enough about. And so be very, very careful and make sure that you have a trusted advisor. Jayson is really great at going over all this with you and giving you the options so that you know what's best for you, because there is a lot of risk involved. You can see there's a lot of people that will possibly take advantage of you in a market like this, where they know that you could be in a more desperate situation. You want the house, but now the payment's a little high. So you'll see a lot of these creative things that really are not the best option for you and could be illegal.
Yeah, very, very dangerous situation. Not dangerous, but just risky situation.
Risky.
Yeah, very
Risky business.
Risky business. I don't offer wraps because of that reason, but I'm seeing a lot of loan officers who are desperate for business right now. Even some agents who may be desperate for business right now, looking to these creative things without really thinking it through, and whether or not it's really a good option for both the buyer and the seller. So
yeah, and there's a great option. I know we've talked a lot about this. Of there is that great option that we can offer buyers, which is having the buyer offer a little bit more than what they would have offered for the home, and get a credit back from the seller to buy down an interest rate to get that payment to where they want.
Yeah, this is something that I think isn't really talked about enough. And that is that we as buyers, every time we buy something, whether it be a pack of gum, a car, or whatever it is that we're looking to buy, we're always looking for the deal. What's the deal? I want the best deal, right? And part of that, and especially in real estate, is price. So if they're offering $350 on a price and I can get it for $330, I can walk around with my chest out and say, hey, I got a great deal. They don't even really think about the terms of the loan or the terms of the mortgage and whether or not that is a good deal, right? Because it's always about price and payment. Those are two things that motivate most buyers on a home. So offering, to Kelley's suggestion there, offering the full price and then using seller concessions to buy down the rate, well, you're getting a good deal on the payment. And the appraisals right now are there to support the price or the asking price of the home. So it's not like you're overpaying for a home.
Right.
Like many were doing a couple years ago, even, I guess you could argue, but it's a different market now. So paying the asking price and not trying to get the lower price might be a good strategy to get a lower rate, better terms.
Exactly. And like Jayson was saying, appraisers, they have the comparable sales to help with that, because remember, appraisers, they can look up to 6 months back, and 6 months ago, the prices were, they're still strong. So they're looking at these numbers, and you can still add in a credit for that. So definitely an option. Jayson, did you want to talk about some of the other things that you've been hearing that lenders are offering that's a little risky? Absolutely.
So yes, let's the next one here is the 2-1 buy down. So I'm gonna bring up the scenario here for the 2-1 buy down, and let's talk about that a little bit. So a 2-1 buy down, 2 being that the rate is bought down for 2 years or just for 2 years, and it's bought down by 1% over typically the current market rate today. And so you get a lower rate initially for the first year. Second year, it goes to equivalent, pretty much what today's market rate is. And then the third year, it goes up to 1% above the current market rate. Now, a lot of lenders are pushing this right now. I've even seen some title companies who hold some seminars and things like that for realtors, kind of offering this as a way to help your buyer get qualified for more of a home. And builders are even starting to offer these sort of things right now as an incentive to get into their homes. I'm not a big fan of these 2-1 buy downs, and the reason that I'm not a big fan of them is because a couple reasons. Number one is that you have to qualify at the actual higher rate. So you're taking a little bit of your purchasing power away by qualifying at that end rate. The lenders want to know that you're going to be able to afford this home 3 years from now, even though you're getting a lower rate up front. Now, it used to be that you could get and qualify at the lower rate. And so then it increased your purchasing power, in which case then, makes a big difference actually. And the second thing is that this type of loan is super expensive. It's not a cheap loan. And so going back to Kelley's point previous, if you reallocated that expense that you get the 2-1 buy down and just went with a 30-year fixed and used that money to buy down that rate on a 30-year fixed, you're done with it. And you've got a great rate on the 30-year fixed without having that, monster hanging over your head that this rate is going to
Right.
change for the next 2 years. We don't know where inflation's going. We don't know where cost of living is going. We don't know where any of these things are going. And to have your rate kind of step up on you over the next couple years, not a fan of that right now.
Yeah, I totally agree, Jayson. Yeah, I totally agree because, we saw this back, 05, 06, 07, they were doing these 5-1 ARMs, which is different, but it's an adjustable rate mortgage. And once those loans came full at the 5 years and the higher rate, a lot of people couldn't afford it. So, so you want to be careful when you do, these step-up type loans because, again, you have to prepare yourself for that higher payment. And I hear so many people say, well, I'll just refinance, later. Well, that's a great idea if the rates are low. So why not up front ask for that credit from the seller and get that money back to be able to buy down the rate? And then you have a longer term mortgage that this is my rate and there's not that uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've got some programs out there that you are questioning, reach out to me. I'd love to go over them with you. And if they make sense, hey, I'll tell you, it makes sense. But just be aware of these programs that are being pushed out there. They may not benefit you. There might be a little sales gimmicky kind of thing out there to get you kind of excited about buying a house, and you may regret it after you get into the home. So just making you aware on that. Okay, so
awesome.
Last thing, Kelley, I want to do real quick because I don't want this to run too long here, is show you a little bit of the lifestyle here in Arizona, right? So my wife and I did a hot air balloon, and we're kind of getting into the hot air balloon season here. It's coming up pretty quick. I think next month I think they start doing these hot air balloons. You can take a hot air balloon over the city of Phoenix, which is pretty cool, actually. It's really cool. And so I want to show you a video that I put together of my wife and I doing a hot air balloon. And this is done, we did ours through Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona Rainbow Riders is the name of the company that we did this through. It's pretty inexpensive, very professionally done. You can do picnics on these things. You can do all kinds of stuff with these things. So it's really cool. All right, so without that, let me play the video. All right, there you go.
So cute. I was like dancing. That was great, right? Music. So it's so pretty too. Oh my gosh.
Man. So Phoenix is such a beautiful place. It really is.
Absolutely. They have, I know they do a lot of these around the Sonoran foothills in the North Valley, also in Northwest Peoria. We see them go right over the mountains, right over our yard. It is really beautiful. And that's a great way to spend a morning or an evening, especially, coming into the fall. Beautiful weather.
Oh, it's beautiful. And the thing that was really cool about this whole thing for me was the absolute tranquility, I guess is maybe the right word for it. When you're up there, I thought it would be windy, but you're kind of going with the wind. So there's absolutely no wind up there. And so you're not cold. It's just quiet. It's like, and you're looking over the city and it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So I encourage.
That's so cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Anybody to do that. That would be super, super fun. All right. I think I've got everything that I wanted to cover today. So for anybody out there, hey, share this video. I can't say that enough. If you're watching on Roku, please write a review on Roku for me. I would really appreciate that support. Tell your friends and family if you're looking to purchase or refinance a home in Arizona, I certainly would love to be your broker of choice. So please reach out to me.
Awesome. Yes. And if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to the channel, click the bell. That way you're notified when I put up new videos, and we'll be doing this regularly. So you'll have these kind of updates from us. And this is going to be a video, or I guess we call it a video. I don't know. We're going to end up doing it live probably, but going to be something where we're giving you information about Arizona, about real estate also, and about lifestyle. If you're planning to move to the area, there's going to be important things that we want to share with you, and also different, industries and businesses. And we're going to have people on here with us that we're going to interview to give you great information as being a resident or someone that's looking to move to the area. So I really appreciate everyone for watching on, whatever platform you are watching on. So thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, cool. With that said, everybody have a great rest of your week and reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you guys. We love to talk, so reach out to us. All right.
We love to talk. All right. See you later, guys. Take care.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.